Everybody. Hope all is well. All right, today I'm coming in here early, and we're going to talk about 10 common mistakes to avoid when seeking grants. Now, for the last few days, I have been talking about grants and helping you get money to start your business with, right? And so the other videos, if you have missed them, I have taken them down. Yes, they have been removed because that's good information in there. And like I said, if you are interested, I want you to connect with me one-on-one or get in the upcoming class that we're going to do on you getting grant funding for your business. There are over 500 grants out there for different departments of different businesses and ventures that, whatever your business is, you got different departments in different areas where you can get in touch with funding agencies to get grant money, right? So that's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about the 10 common mistakes to avoid. So when you avoid the mistakes, then hey, you're on your way. And I want you to really keep in mind that these are mistakes that keeps you from getting the money. You don't have to be afraid of not being able to fund your business idea. These are things that you need to look out for. So I want to give them to you. And if you want to get it out here, make it better for yourself, this is going to be something to help you. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you the 10. We're going to break them down a little bit and I'm going to tell you a little bit about everything you need to do. So I hope you are taking notes and listening. So now the first thing, the first mistake is going to be is failing to research the funder. Yeah, this is a big one here. I think this is the one of the most important one that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't overlook. And I think a lot of people just don't have the patience to, or they don't really know how to do it. And then if you knew how, a lot of people know how to do it, but they just won't take the time and sit down and carve out that time and just be specific, be laser focused, and be detailed oriented, right? And then just to remember this about failing to research a funder. Not every funder is suitable for any particular business. So this is how you have to take some time out, carve out time. If you don't want to have somebody like me working on your team or have somebody like me doing your grants for you, these are some of the things you're going to have to do yourself. So I want to give you a little heads up here. But we're going to talk about the common mistakes. Okay, so this is going to be 10, and this is the first one we're talking about. Okay, now it's very, very important for you to understand the mission and the priorities of the ones that's going to award you the grant funding. And the reason why I say that is because if it doesn't align with what they got going on, what in the world are they going to fund your business for, right? Just like a lot of the tech, there's a lot of funding. There's a grant, and if anybody wanted to develop an app or develop something in technology, there's funding out there besides venture capitalists. There's foundations that give grant funding. Of course, there's a lot of businesses that give grant funding. There's like grants to different women, different organizations and things like that. That is, you don't thoroughly research them. And so when you start asking for money, you just see, oh, okay, here's a grant out here, I'm going to apply for that. And you haven't read and been very specific in seeing what the requirements are, your application will be kicked out. It won't even get looked at or whatever. And then you'll think that you was denied because you really didn't qualify. No, it's not that you really didn't qualify for it. You really didn't. You really didn't read instructions, and you really didn't follow the guidelines. So that's a good way for you not to get grant funding. Okay. Now, second thing, I just touched on it a little bit. Number 2, you don't follow application guidelines. Yes, you don't follow the application guidelines. It is very, very, that's even when you're applying for any a loan application or anything. If you ain't following instructions and if you don't give everything that specifically grant funding offer need, you will not get the funding. And one of the other things that is, you are missing deadlines. You don't listen to the deadline. They tell you they need it in at 11:59 on September the 20th. You better have it in probably before then. That's even with government contracting money too, but we ain't talk about government contracting. That's one of the ones too that a lot of people don't get money for government contracting too. I know that as well. But let's get back to the grant funding. Yeah, you would definitely not get that money if you are missing deadlines, not and you're not adhering to word. Like if they say 300 words or less, tell me or describe your business to me. If you go over that, you're automatically disqualified. And the biggie too, along with not following application guidelines, you are not submitting the required documents. When they tell you they want this checklist done, or everything on this checklist need to be sent to them, that's what they mean. So if you don't do that, you have disqualified yourself. Now, what the documents are, each grant, it requires different things, but you best to believe in this. And I'm gonna tell you some of the main documents. A business plan, for one. They may want you to be specific on your profit and loss statement. If you've been in business for 3 or 4 years, if they say we need all three of your tax returns, you better have all 3 of them tax returns. All the years that they require of you, you need to give them to them, or less, unless you just disqualified yourself. And you could be the perfect candidate for the opportunity. But if you don't follow the guidelines, you won't get the money. Okay. Now, number 3. Being overly ambitious and vague. Sometimes we want to be unrealistic and we want to be grandiose. We want to sound so important. We want to tell them about certain things that they didn't even ask us for. And a lot of people love to express their accolades when maybe sometimes they really don't give a rip about your accolades, or your past, your educational background. In a sense, they may not need to know all of that, but because you think it's important, because you think it's going to help you, then you go ahead and give it to them. And that really is not what they're looking for. Maybe that is not what they require of you. Okay. Now, also, when you're being overly ambitious or either too vague, it's like you're not clear, and you're not specific, and you're not giving them exactly what they're asking you for. You need to be detailed. When you are trying to get a grant, people, you need to be as detailed as you can about the things that are important. You need to be detailed about the activities you're going to have, or what you're going to do with the funding, and how you're going to really, like if you say you needed to grow your business by hiring a team, you need to be specific. Maybe what's the position of that team member? What is going to cost you to bring them aboard? Finding all of this stuff out, finding out what it requires of you to hire them, how much you're going to have to pay them an hour. And then also, how much it would cost you to have them on staff. That means you need to know what's going to be probably the tax liability of you having them on your staff, right? Not just saying, okay, I'm going to pay them $30 an hour, and then that 30 times 40 is what, 30 times 40, whatever, is what, 2,000, something like that. So anyway, I don't have a calculator, but let me see. Let me figure it out real quick. 30 times 20. Okay, 30. Okay, 600. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. $30 an hour time. No, wait a minute. $40 an hour. Okay, 1,200. Right? So that's $1,200 an hour. Then you got to go in and take out all of your taxes. Your all of the deductions payroll taxes that you probably have to pay. You need to put all of that in there. So that's what I mean. You need to be detailed, and then your objectives or whatever, being specific and being concise of what you are giving, that information you're giving them, and why they should be helping you with their grant money. Be specific. That's another way that you are not getting a grant. Okay. And the fourth one is going to be ignoring sustainability, right? Ignoring sustainability. So with that also being said, funds, they want to know that their funds is not going to be just supporting this particular event, particular project you have or whatever, and then you're going to be right back where you started from. They don't want to give money for that. They want something that's going to last. If the part, if this, say for instance, if they give you money in helping you grow your business, they want to know that, okay, it would give you a boost. It's not going to give you a particular help for that particular project, and then boom, 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 you going on to the next, you're going on to the next thing, and then you're going to need funding for something similar, but it's not going to be a lasting effect or a compound effect if they want to invest in you, right? So they want to invest in something that's going to have a compound effect and it's going to be beneficial to them investing in you. Now, the fifth thing too, a lot of times, and I think we're so afraid of this one, here's the poor budgeting, budget planning. You're unclear about your budget. You're unclear about how much you're going to leave. You're unclear about, how the expenses of everything. And then you're just not, and then sometimes your figures can be not justifiable too as well. So you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. And then also just let it make sense, people. Just let the funding that you're requesting, let it make sense to the project that you are asking the money for. And number 6, you're not demonstrating the need. This is where your research is going to have to come in. You're going to have to know a little bit about your stuff, about what you got going on, and it is, what are you addressing? Like I just said earlier about the employee, what specific needs, and even if you're needing money for like marketing or helping your business in that area, why would you need this here? What's going on? Is it going to be an influx of, changing in the area what you're serving, or is this is going to be a spike in, the need of your specific thing that you're doing with this grant, that you would need this money for your grant, or however it's going to help your business grow. And describe how you're going to, by you having this service or service or product or whatever it is, how will it benefit your customers? That's what you have to specify that. You have to be clear on that. Okay, you have to be clear. Definitely have to be clear. And another thing is failing to engage stockholders, stakeholders in your business. Now, I would think that this can come in like if you're more like just making sure that your community or the people that you, specifying how much more beneficial it'll be for all the planning and all of the things in the process of executing what you got going on, right? So you need to make sure that the project hasn't been, you need to make sure it's thoroughly thought out, and it's no lack of the effectiveness of, it's no lack of the effect that it will have upon your success, put it that way. You definitely have to, and all of this is wrapped up into, if you notice, all of these are wrapped up into the same thing. And not reviewing and proofreading your grant information, because you can have mistakes in there. You can have worded something wrong that didn't make sense to the to the grantor, those that are awarding you the funding, and it can be errors, inconsistencies, like I said, and just not having your argument or whatever you're trying to convey to them or persuade the grant awarders about, and you just, like I say, they can see that, oh, they just threw this together. They didn't really think this through. People can really tell when you just didn't think it through. So you don't want to be one of those people. And just submitting a generic proposal. It's not a one size fit all. And I know a lot of you think you can go online and, yeah, I'm going to get a cookie cutter template, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna submit this thing. And because this is a basic business, especially your business plan. You guys thinking, because I mean, I write business plan for my clients as well. You think that it's a cookie cutter event. It is not a cookie cutter event. It is a very specific and detail oriented event. And this is why maybe some of you are not getting, even from a funding standpoint, you're not getting funding for your banking institution, or even wherever you're trying to get funding for your bank, for your business to develop and grow. Okay. So if it's not tailored to your specific information or your specific grant requirements, if it's not specific to your business and the interest that you bring to the table and what you want to do and the mission that you want to convey, it ain't gonna fly right for you. So that's number 9. Number 10 is neglecting to follow up and reporting. Now, when you're awarded a grant one time, you can be awarded a grant again from the same place. I'm just letting you know that, unless they have specific guidelines of not. Now, with that being said, I had one client that I was working on her grant information, and she really, and by the way, I had to just give her money back and just say, look, we can't work together, because she didn't understand the fact that you have to report. If someone's going to be kind enough to give you money that you're not going to have to pay back, and because maybe in the event that you can't get funding because of your credit situation, and you don't have enough business of credit established, and then they will give you funding and you're going to be awarded a grant for your business. It's, like I said, something you don't have to pay back, and you mean to tell me you don't want to report the information of how you use the money and how's things going, and how that grant that they gave you help improve your establishment or help you grow your business? You mean to tell me that you can't be courtesy enough to just give them a follow-up and report? Whew, that's a little rough one. That make them feel, just think about it, that'll make a person feel really bad. When they've done a company, that'll make an individual, an organization, a corporation, they were like, now this person just used us to get what they want. Even a relationship, you know how it is. You get what you want from somebody and you don't see them again and things like you don't do that. You just don't do that. And it's good practice in business to give them a follow-up on the outcomes of how you help them. I mean, how they help you. I'm sorry. It behooves me to just think that people just don't want to. And this lady had a nerve to say, I don't want to be, I don't want to be held accountable for all of this. Well, you don't want that money then. What sense that make? None. So just avoid these common mistakes that I've given you, and your chances of getting funding, receiving funding, is going to be greater than you think. This is how grants are being won, people. They are being won by not making these common mistakes and not making these errors of, grants. Not making these errors and doing the things that need to be done to give it all you have, like your life depends on it. So that's it, and I will definitely that's going to be all for this, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next video. So thank you for being here, and I hope that something in this video helped you to get a clear and motivate you a little bit to get a clear picture on how you can make it happen for yourself with getting grant funding. Okay. All righty. We'll talk later. All righty. Bye-bye. All right. See y'all in the next video. And then also, if you need my help, just reach out to me, and look out for the class, coming up. So we're going to break things down, and we're going to get you set up and show you some grants that's going to be out there. Right. Okay. I'll see y'all later.